Hey, y'all. This is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends.
Oh, my gosh.
Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
No, Dave.
Yeah.
I think you might be in the Hollow Earth, still working on that network issue.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's summer here, what is the weather in the Hollow Earth like at this time?
It's always summer, right?
I don't know.
Well, if they got the big ball of blazing heat,
Yeah.
True.
It's always summer.
Well, there's a lot of reptilian
He's
overload
never
stuff.
coming back if it's always beautiful.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
but he's very fair-skinned. I don't know if he can do continuous summer.
True story.
Yeah. Or at least his human suit is fair-skinned.
Yeah.
Oh, you trying to say he's reptilian?
Well, I'm just saying, who knows? Who knows?
Hey, if this is the first time listening to our show, we always razz Dave. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not. And somehow we came up with this joke that he returns to the Hollow Earth.
Yep.
This is a joke?
I mean, maybe it's not a joke.
Wait. Oh, hold on.
I was just thinking sometimes first-time listeners are like, what the heck are they talking about? On this show, we talk about weird stuff. We have a really good time with it. As we say, we have fun with it. We do not make fun of it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
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 So, welcome. What? Why are you laughing at me?
It's just like a Vincent Price kind of a slide into it, you know?
Well, let me tell you, this show, I'm not going to say dedicated to, but we're going to start off with saying a big hello and happy you're still alive to the country nerd, Sayon.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
He was eating, he had an Instagram story, and he was eating a piece of boneless fish,
Yeah.
and he got a bone stuck in his throat.
Oh, no.
He had to go to the emergency room,
Right.
but everything came out okay.
Wow.
I guess the doctor stuck a big old
It's a pair of tweezers in there.
Yeah. Thank
some
goodness.
needle nose pliers down his throat, pulled the bone out.
Eee.
So, country nerd, I'm glad you're doing better,
Yeah.
I
dude.
know.
No kidding. Lay low on the
That's
fish.
crazy. You know, I was cooking some chicken the other day and chopping it up to put in our burritos, and there was a giant bone in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this was supposed to be, boneless chicken breast.
The QC department in these factories,
Yeah, I know.
these food plants are slacking a little bit.
Slacking. But obviously, I found the bone and did not swallow it like country nerd Sayon did.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're all right because fish bones are they're literally like needles.
I know. I was going to say they're pretty sharp.
They're super
yeah.
sharp, and they lodge in there, and oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, I had for a while, I read this one article and I kept worrying about it, but do you ever hear of people using those wire brushes on their grill?
Yes.
Yeah.
And those little brass needles fall out and then they end up
In the
getting
food.
into their food
Yeah.
and stuck in their throat. I had a whole... That's because one time we went to that brewery. I forget the name of the brewery, but anyway.
Yeah.
It was up in Harrisburg. We ordered the smoked chicken salad. Sounded delicious.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was delicious.
And I was eating it, and I pulled out this piece of...
You pulled out a piece of wire?
piece of
Yep.
wire.
Oh, wow.
Now, the guy who cooked it, he saw me do this. Now, he didn't come over and say anything. He was like, but when I went over and yeah, bro, I just want to let you know.
There's a piece of wire.
This was in my food.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I saw you pulling something out of your mouth and looking strange. I wondered what happened. I'm like, this happened.
Was it like a straight piece of wire, or was it kind of curly and whatnot?
No, it was literally like if you plucked it out of the end of a wire brush for your
Really?
grill. It was
Yeah.
straight. It was in there, and from that day on, I switched. I got a different kind of grill.
Yeah.
I don't use
Right.
that wire brush, but I started paying attention to everything I cooked on the grill,
Yep.
and I would bang it and beat it and make sure
Right.
the grill that nothing was on top before I.
Yeah, it was
Thanks, Nash.
obsessive.
you caught that one.
It took me a minute.
But yeah, I almost choked on that.
Yeah.
We'll make the story short. No, I'll end the story. Country nerd say, I'm glad you're still kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good catch.
You're awesome, dude.
It sucks that you had to go to the hospital, but we're glad that you prevailed.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about the Wendigo.
Yep.
This was a topic idea from Andrew. Thank you, dude.
Is it the Wendigo or the Wendigo?
There's
just wondering that.
there's many different spellings.
Okay.
Many different pronunciations.
Yeah.
But because I pronounce everything wrong, I'm going to say
this story
Wendigo.
has a bunch of them in there too, and I'm ready. I'm ready on the
So yeah,
pronunciation.
you guys can make fun of me all you want. It's okay.
Oh, no.
As always, before we get to our main topic, we like to do listener feedback, brought to you by Living Among Bigfoot, the only book series about Bigfoot that drops the 15th of every month on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, look it up. You'll like it. Lish, as we say around here,
Oh, it's really good.
all right.
Very nice. All right. All right.
All right, so we heard from Paige. She wanted to let us know that the International Society of Primal People is coming to a town just outside of Atlanta in October. And she said if we all come down, the first round's on her.
What is the association of?
The International Society of Primal People.
Primal people.
Yeah, she sent us a link, and I'll post this link in the Facebook group.
Okay.
If you're not a member, join.
That conjures all kind of images in my head. So I'm wondering if it has to do with like Sasquatch, or is it a group of people who are like the Geico guy? You know, like the Geico caveman
right.
guy
Yeah, the
who are like
caveman.
getting together thinking that they're getting the shaft in society and not being recognized? Like,
No, I think
Oh,
it might
you
be.
think it's the International Society of Primal People,
yes, that's what yes.
as opposed to a society that talks about Sasquatch.
Yes. That's exactly right.
All right.
You could go in there expecting one and really be not ready for what
Right.
you see.
I would never in a million years go that direction.
Well, that's
But all right,
usually.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I'm the one in the million that really goes the other way.
Right.
Now, another shout out to Paige. On the last episode, we talked about Robert the Doll. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't remember who gave us the idea. It was Paige.
Yep.
Paige, I'm sorry. I was like, it was Christina, it was Chelsea. I don't know. Because both of them have given us great ideas, too.
True.
But it was Paige. Now, here's a funk fact.
Fun facts.
Ooh.
Paige's dad was the caretaker of the Otto House in the 70s.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because his parents, her grandparents, knew the Otto family.
Wow.
Wow.
So he has not direct contact with Robert the Doll. Maybe he touched it. I don't know.
Maybe.
But there is a possibility, maybe. It all depends on her dad. I would love to have him on the show to talk
Yeah, that's
about
what-
his experiences.
That would be awesome.
Being the caretaker.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Maybe we can get him on the show. That'd be fantastic.
And I'm wondering, did he ever try to sneak a picture?
Oh.
Yeah.
Or go in and talk to him and say, "Hey, I'm here for the day. I'm cleaning things up, or I'm really making sure everything's in line. Are you okay with me? I'm okay with you." Or just, what does that look like?
Right.
That would be awesome.
Paige, thank you so much. I'm sorry I botched that and forgot that you're the one who suggested the topic.
Wait. Hold on.
And tell your dad we said hello and we would love to have him on.
Are you telling me that we actually botched something? We usually were right on the money with
Never right on the money.
Right.
That's probably why Fat Chuddy gave us a 2 stars.
right.
We heard from Christina. She said, love the story of Robert. So glad you're all doing a segment on him. And then she retweeted she made another comment. If any of y'all are interested in the hashtag paranormal, you really should check out the folks at Paranormal Punchers. Love these guys. Fun, informative. I added the question. Fun, informative, and great interaction with their listeners. Christina, thank you so very much.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
We heard from Lily on Twitter. Hey, guys. I just want to say thank you. Last time I contacted you, I told you about how me and my dad always listen together. Every time we listen, he always gets so excited on the topic and wants to tell me more. I thought I would thank you guys for always giving him and I something to look forward to and to make him so happy. Keep up the spooky work. Stay weird.
Oh.
Lily, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Lily, and to your father, hey, thank you so much for listening, and I hope we keep making you guys smile.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for. I mean, thank you guys. That's fantastic. That what brings a smile to our face. That's fantastic. Thank you.
That pudding skin for you.
Yeah, pudding skin. Right on.
We heard from Paul. Paul says, "Hey guys." Yeah, that's how everybody started.
I don't
Right,
think he
right.
says it that way.
Everybody says it that way. Everybody says it that way. I listened to the Robert the Doll episode, and I have to say it was very creepy. I myself am not a fan of dolls. My sister had one when we were younger, and it sat in the corner of her bed, and every time I looked at it, I prayed it didn't blink back.
Oh, God.
But anyways, I thought you guys would be interested in checking out the Isle. Let's see if I can do this. Isle de las...
Nope.
I can't do it. I'm just going to say the Island of the Dolls in Mexico City.
Ooh.
Very creepy and has a very sad history and why it's there. As always, keep up the great work.
Island of the Dolls.
Yeah, Paul, actually, that's on our list.
Yeah, it is on
another
our list.
topic idea. Probably was Paige at this point. I can't remember who.
We can't remember anything beyond 10 minutes ago.
But yeah, you know, I saw that on Ghost Adventures. It looks very creepy.
I know. Can we maybe not do it right away so we can skip
You need a
couple
break from-
doll episodes? Yeah.
We heard from Zorko on the Apple Podcast. It's actually Tzorko. So
Oh.
T Zorko, or is it
okay.
T silent?
T
Zorko.
silent, yeah.
I figured the T was silent.
Yeah, it's like-
But if Dave was here, he would have corrected me immediately. But since he's not here, I did it my way.
Right.
He smashed 5 stars and said 100% fun. Just discovered this podcast, and I'm enjoying it immensely. Funny and informative. and the hosts are all likable. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
look forward to each episode, and that says it all.
Oh.
Informative.
Thanks, Zorko.
Hey, we try our best.
I guess so. I guess
Yeah.
so.
We give them enough to make them
To go,
maybe
what
look.
the heck are they talking about?
We heard, actually, we had some comments on YouTube. This is weird, but Echo 22WC. I visited Robert. I definitely didn't risk the picture.
Oh.
LOL.
Wow, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder how many people have gone to Robert Dome like, nope.
No.
But in the world of selfies, how many people have done selfies and they're just like regretting?
Right. Or how many people have done selfies and said, and actually asked the question when they're getting ready to do it to Robert the Doll?
I think you should always.
Right.
You
Right.
remember that girl that there was that one video where she was on her cell phone and walked right into a fountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if she took a selfie with Robert and that he was like, you know what?
That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Here's
what
your
happens.
punishment.
Yeah, I wonder if like the tour guide or whatever says, you know what, you can take as many selfies as you want, just ask first.
Right.
Ask Robert first.
Oh, boy.
See, I would love to know, like, Paige's dad, like, did they, you know, when they were, if they were doing any tours or anything like that, or when he was a caretaker, did they warn people?
Right.
Right?
Like, hey,
Just don't do this.
Or back.
believe what you want to believe. But a lot of people
Right.
have had some issues when they didn't ask Robert permission.
Well, and this was back in the 70s, so I wonder if it wasn't really, like, people didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go take a picture because I don't know about Robert yet. But
Oh, right, because it
You know
would
what I
only
mean?
been word of
At the
mouth at that
museum,
point.
yeah.
Right, and not everybody would
I
have
don't
known
know.
the whole lore.
Well, you know, back in the 70s, it's not like everybody was armed with a camera like that.
true, yeah.
In fact, like, even back then, you take a picture, like, you could have, it could be like 3 or 4 weeks to a month till you remember to even take the film to get
oh,
developed.
gosh, yeah.
Right.
And then half the time the pictures were blurry.
Did he get you
yeah.
right away, or did he wait till your picture turned out?
That's the question.
And you started
Right.
showing off the picture.
Is
Right.
were those pictures ever developed? Because the people
yeah,
who
what if it
took
was-
them
Oh.
ended up like
or
dying,
would have Robert
or
ruined the film? Why'd you go right to death?
well, I don't know.
I thought maybe Robert, like, because it was filmed,
Yeah.
maybe he could like manipulate some stuff in the air.
I'm thinking like a piano dropped on him or something, you know,
Wow.
or a car accident or something like that before the film got developed. Then it never got developed. That's a good question right there.
For any millennial, film used to be a thing that
Yeah,
Right.
right.
just making fun, just having fun. We heard from Fred 2513 on the Insta.
Oh, you.
Hey, totally enjoy your podcast. I'm a devoted listener. I have an idea for the show. This is interesting, guys. I've never heard of this.
I know.
Siege at Lockett Ranch. in the 1940s, a family was attacked by a bunch of dogmen.
What?
Yeah.
And he says, keep up the good work. Now,
where did you?
Fred, 2513. I've never heard this, but it sounds like a comic book. It sounds like a movie. Siege at Lockett Ranch.
Right?
Huh. We'll have to look into that. That sounds really interesting.
We talked about werewolf sightings, but we talked about the Beast of Bray Road, which maybe could be a dogman.
Yeah.
But we haven't done dogmen. But this
Lockett
sounds
Ranch.
really interesting. Everybody, if you're listening, obviously you're listening if you can hear me talk. Yeah, look that up. Maybe it's really cool. And I love that, the listener feedback has given us weird ideas to check out.
Huh. I don't know. I need to do some homework. Where's Lockett Ranch?
I know.
In relation to like Dulce Base.
I can't answer your question because I did not look it up.
I don't know. I gotta look.
You have Google.
Well,
Google's in your pocket.
I just thought of the other 10 responses to that.
All right, moving along here. Just a couple more here on Insta. We heard from Christian Rock Shimmy 90. And this is a reference to a post we had about Robert the Doll. He terrifies me more than Annabelle. And of course, you said it's the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely the face.
But Kristen Rock Shimmy 90. It's everything about him. His appearance, his backstory. Yep.
Oh, boy. Hashtag truth, that's for sure.
And Lewistown Printworks. Mm-hmm. They were like, what about the dog that he's holding? Does the dog suck souls?
Right. Is the dog the tool? Maybe he sends the dog out to retrieve the soul.
Does he trap souls in the dog? That's what Lewistown Print Shop. It works. Dang it, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because what if it's the dog? What if the other part, the Robert the Doll, is just the sham? The dog.
It's really the juices of the dog.
It's all in the dog.
Okay. I don't know. I could see the dog coming out, attracting the people, and then bam, he's got him. I don't know. Maybe he's like the bait. He's the worm on the hook.
Right.
I don't know. But thank you, everyone, that sent in feedback. If I missed one, sometimes they come in right after we might have recorded. So we'll get there. We'll mention you because you're awesome. And why do the show without cool people to meet and talk with?
Yep.
Now, wasn't there a pretty significant difference between the Annabelle doll and the Robert the Doll? Wasn't the Annabelle doll kind of like a newer doll, more like from the 70s or 80s, where it actually had a face?
Annabelle's like...
Go ahead, hon.
Oh, okay. Raggedy Ann. Isn't that what
It's like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not like the movie doll.
No.
I keep thinking the movie doll that has like really dark black eye shadow kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's got like a plastic face. Like,
like our creepy doll.
Or Jackie. Well, actually, the name's Jackie. My mom told me.
God.
So it's kind of like Jackie over here in the corner.
That doll head needs to be turned into a lamp, like right now.
This is funny, and not that the house we live in is cursed, but I would like you guys, and I'm not playing pranks, just take a look. The head is now turned in a different direction than it was in the last time we recorded. It's looking away from us, and last time it was looking at us.
He's looking right at me. He's giving me the dead eye.
But he can't be looking at you because he's looking away from me.
He's giving me the stank eye.
Anyway,
Somebody's messing with it.
most likely the teenager.
Right.
We have a teenager present in the house.
No, he's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not here. He's with his friends.
Yeah.
The head is definitely turned, but I wouldn't put it past his friends to screw
I know,
with us.
to mess with us, yeah.
Yeah, that would make an awesome lamp.
That Chromos, what's up? He had a post in the Facebook group about turning doll heads into lamps.
That's fantastic.
Right.
I want to do it. That's a great use for old doll heads.
Okay.
I agree. Why don't you get to work?
We'll get to work. We'll open a shop. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
As I said, thank you so much. Hit us up, paranormalpunchers.com. You can send us a message. If you don't want to go to the website, paranormalpunchers@gmail.com. And we got a Facebook group. You can drop notes in there. Apple Podcasts, give us a review. Whatever you're into. Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you.
All right. It is time. This was from Andrew. Andrew also wanted to let us know that we could check out, we were talking about our D&D game we're going to record.
Yeah.
That there's a game. Let me just find his message here. He told me I didn't have to read any of what he sent, but I'm going to read just a brief part of it. So there you go, Andrew. I'm going to read if I feel like it.
That's how we do it, man.
Right.
Okay, so he said if we should check out this game called Monsters of the Week. It's a tabletop game where the whole premise of the game is a group hunting monsters. It's a lot like Supernatural, Buffy, Van Helsing. Super fun. And he just played it for the first time the other day. So, I'm going to check it out.
Oh, yeah.
I did look some stuff online. I think they got some free stuff you can download.
Oh.
But yeah, it's called Monsters of the Week. If you're into tabletop, gaming, having fun with your friends, go check it out. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. It is time for the main topic. We're moving on. We're going to discuss the Wendigo. Now, as always, I like to throw out there, kind of just describe a little bit. Now, the descriptions of this creature are all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to give you the horror of what it looks like. Then we'll dive in a little bit. So imagine like this decomposing corpse-like thing. Some say it has like antlers of a deer, like a big elk.
Right.
You know, big giant white-tailed deer. I don't know, whatever kind of antlers. Big antlers. Kind of like very pale. Some talk that the skin's so like gaunt
like
that the bones
thin.
are actually poking through. Now, I said last time the Wendigo that the hawk fought had like fur. Some reports talk that it does have like patches of like white fur. The smell, again, with the world of cryptids, like the smell of just bad.
Not
but
good.
But this has the smell of death and decay because it also looks like a rotting corpse.
Right.
Yellow fangs. These big claw-like hands. Yeah. So this is a creature of nightmares, and some reports talk about it as being like human-sized and frail-looking. You wouldn't suspect that it's supernatural, totally kick your butt. Some things I found, it's like
huge,
15-foot giant.
Yeah,
massive.
It's tall.
Massive and huge. Yeah.
And now this all comes from Native American lore, legends, I guess the Algonquin. Did I say that right?
Yep. Algonquin.
Algonquin. So, okay, I started off not pronouncing it right.
No, but you were close.
So I don't mispronounce anything else. Lish, why don't you take it away?
All right. So there are a couple different meanings behind Wendigo. One is spirit of lonely places, and the other is the evil spirit that devours mankind. But basically, it's a cannibalistic spirit or monster resembling a zombie. And I say spirit or because it can manifest as like a spirit that possesses people. And it also becomes this creature that that humans can turn into. Now, basically, it comes from people eating other humans.
Yeah, it's like a curse.
It's a curse. So you might get possessed by this Wendigo. I'm sorry. I keep wanting to say Wendigo in my head.
Go with it. It's okay. I think everybody listen, they'll forgive us.
Okay. I don't know how.
Maybe.
Right. Anyway, you get possessed by this spirit. Lots of times it's when you're like in a really dark, sad place, like you're vulnerable. So this spirit will then attach itself to you, and then you end up killing and eating a bunch of humans. And then also you can become a Wendigo by eating people. So you may not actually be possessed or whatever by the spirit, but you, let's say you're hungry. You're so hungry. You start killing these people and you become a Wendigo.
I don't know. I mean, that's pretty hungry.
I know.
Well, that's what part of the legend and lore is because now this creature, it's not like he's kicking it on the East Coast out in Wildwood, New Jersey on the beach. This is the thing. This is the thing that's mostly seen or have been cited reports of, like along, very cold, like Canada, Minnesota,
Upper Minnesota,
the Great Lakes,
right?
I didn't find really anything. He's definitely, this is a cold weather, snow weather.
Yeah.
So with the Algonquin, I said it right, I think. Some people perceive this as almost like a lesson, the story of the Wendigo. Because if things got so terrible and so cold and they didn't have a lot of food, they didn't want anybody to resort to cannibalism.
Right.
So that's one way the story is told. That the Wendigo is to keep, hey, look, this is what's going to happen to you. But now, there's also the possession, the demon part.
Right.
That, you're right, people that are weak, maybe starving, maybe weak-willed. This thing can enter them and literally just take over, and they do stuff they don't even know they did.
Right.
Like, go ahead. I took your spotlight.
No, you actually didn't, but...
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. Honestly, yeah, it's you either start out by eating these people and you become the Wendigo, or you are possessed by this evil spirit, this entity that then takes a hold of you, and you can't really...
It compels you.
Yeah, it compels you to do all of this.
It gives him the same... Because the one thing about the Wendigo is it has to feed on human flesh.
Oh, yes.
And it doesn't matter if it just, ate Nash.
No, it doesn't matter.
It didn't.
Never
It's not satisfied.
It's
never
never
satisfied.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it will go into hibernation. Doesn't mean it's satisfied. It's just...
Well, we all go to bed hungry from time to time. I'm just saying.
All right, maybe that's... So you go, that's your hibernation?
Yeah,
I got to sleep for 8 hours?
Every once in a while,
to eat?
I got to go to bed, and I try to fast that day or something, and I go to bed hungry. It's not the best, but you still sleep well. But you do wake up just ravenous, ready to eat.
Right.
You wouldn't be a Wendigo. You'd be a Chatito.
Yeah, that's right.
Cheetos. Yeah.
That's right.
I botched that. That was stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's
All right. So Wendigos, they have the ability to mimic human voices, so they can lure you. So they're always wanting to eat. So they're trying to lure people out to them. They're very stealthy, and they're like a near perfect hunter. They know every inch of their territory, and they know how to use it. So they might be good in the daylight, but they're also like
really good
immense. At night. It's crazy. Now, there are thoughts that the Wendigo has a heart of ice, that it's made of a heart of ice. There's also other stories that they're talking about. He's completely made of ice. But so what they're thinking...
Hold on. You had to cough.
That's right.
Sorry.
We only brought that up so I don't have to cut this part out, so you know what happened. She's doing it again.
Yep, sorry.
We're back.
So what they say is to get rid of the Wendigo, because it is so strong and so powerful. It's really hard to fight this creature.
Right.
To kill it, you have to stab the heart of ice. You have to get rid of the ice heart, which is also where they believe the spirit of the soul of the person that is now
around the heart.
Yeah, is actually in the heart. So in order to kill the Wendigo, you actually also have to kill the person that is being controlled.
Well, and that's where I got a little confused.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me questioning, because
go ahead.
I was taking the story of the Wendigo as the spirit is out there. Okay. Mm-hmm. You have this crazy hunger, carnivorous spirit out there. Mm-hmm. It possesses somebody. That person becomes then starts to embody the Wendigo. It starts to trap people, eat people. But then it said that the person then turns into. So I don't know if that meant that the person morphs into this giant creature.
Right.
So, and then takes the power of the Wendigo spirit, which encases the heart, or something about maybe I didn't think it was the spirit of the person going around the heart.
Okay.
Maybe it was, it was.
Yeah, I was a little confused about that as well. But there are some people that they say that they're possessed by the Wendigo, or there's a Wendigo hunter, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
That he was like, oh, they're possessed by the Wendigo, but they still look like humans.
Right. Right.
So
The Wendigo fever.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh.
What's that?
That's what you're talking about when people commit these heinous crimes because they were kind of possessed.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
the Wendigo fever.
Yes.
The psychology behind the Wendigo, the psychosis.
Yes. Wendigo psychosis.
That's right. They start eating people, and they say, "Oh, well, you must be, possessed by the Wendigo."
Yeah.
I don't know if they do it now, but now I would imagine they'd be like, "You be crazy, okay?
Right.
You need to get some electroshock therapy."
Yeah, so the Wendigo fever are being possessed by it because I read that people have they just can't stop hearing this voice, feeling like this dread, and eventually this thing takes over,
Right.
and then they're kind of possessed by this Wendigo spirit. Sounds like a lot of things we talked about, like demons possessing people that are
Right.
super depressed, things like that. So potentially could be a demon. I don't know.
Right.
But there are some interesting stories that we're talking about possession, and one was it Jack? No, that's Jack.
Is it Riddle or
Swift Runner?
Swift.
Liz, you want to tell us about Swift
Sure.
Runner?
So the early part of 1879, Swift Runner, he actually he made his way to a Catholic mission in.
He was just interject. Swift
No, go
Runner.
ahead.
He was a Native American.
Yes, he was.
1879.
Yeah. He made his way to Alberta, Canada, and he claimed to be the last surviving and starving member of his family. He said his mom and his brother, his wife, 6 children, they had all succumbed to cold and lack of food.
Okay.
Okay. But he didn't look like he was starving to death at all. In fact, he actually looked pretty chubby. So he was questioned by the police because they were like, we don't believe that, you were starving.
You don't look real
You don't
starving?
look it. And eventually he did admit that he actually devoured each and every one of
my
his
gosh.
family. 6 kids, his wife, a brother. Ugh, yeah. But what he ended up telling them, so that he obviously wouldn't get hung, was that he was possessed by the Wendigo.
Where was this?
This was in Canada, Alberta, Canada. Yep. But it didn't work. They didn't believe him. So he was hung to death in 1879.
Yeah, now this is historically one of the most famous about the Wendigo fever, the possession. But in the early 20th century, this was not the only report of people
Right.
saying the exact same thing.
Right.
If they were possessed, people claim to be possessed with the Wendigo in dozens of communities in northern Quebec. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
I was
Swift Runner wasn't the only one that said the
Right.
same thing.
I was just thinking about the logistics of that. I'm thinking, okay, well, it's Canada. So that kind of answered, that's why I asked. That kind of answered the question. So if he killed, 8 people?
Yeah, he killed his entire family.
So if he killed 8 people, he couldn't have done it one by one and then eat them. He would have needed to kill them all at once. But then I'm thinking about food storage.
Right. Well, it's
That's what I was thinking.
Canada.
It's Canada. You just threw them out in the ice and just cold stored them right there.
You're thinking way too much on this,
I
dude.
know.
I'm just thinking because that would have been a
Starting
really
to scare me.
it would have been a really stinky house. I'm just saying. And how would you convince the rest of your family that don't worry about it? I'm just chewing on this meat here. That would have been a little weird. But I guess up in Canada you could have just cold stored them. That could have worked out for him. Okay, I'm following you.
No, it didn't work out for him. What are you talking about?
Well,
He was possessed by a Wendigo,
Yeah.
killed his family, and was hung.
right.
well, right. He got should have been tortured a little bit, but I'm just thinking logistics. That's all.
Right. Right.
Don't know what.
Oh boy.
Now this isn't at all like what Mr. Fiddle, is that what it was?
Jack Fiddle?
Jack Fiddler
Fiddler.
was in 1907.
Okay.
He's also another. I think he was like a shaman or
But he was diagnosed with Wendigo psychosis.
Yeah.
But wasn't he the one who, with his brother, went and said that he hunted down a bunch of Wendigos?
He was the most famous Wendigo hunter.
Yes.
Yeah, but did he eat his people?
No. It didn't say that he did. I think he got arrested for actually
we all know
killing
that he
people.
really did.
Yeah. Well, I think the last person that he killed was his daughter-in-law.
Well, but the in-laws, they're always sketchy to begin with. So, it could have been just in the pack. Who knows?
But this happened when he was 87 years old, his last murder. And that was the one that he got caught with. Now, I feel like I do have to mention that I feel like part of their, not tradition, but something that this group of people did is if they felt like somebody was dying or they were very, very sick, lots of times they would actually kill them.
Would they kill them and eat them?
No, they wouldn't eat them. They would take them out.
Take him out with like Dirty Harry or something?
But anyway, he was so Jack Fiddler. He was a famous shaman, and his ability was to find these Wendigos and kill them. He had the ability to conjure animals and protect his people from spells.
Now, I have played a very shaman-like creature on WoW that could create, summon his own thing. That's pretty. He could summon his own creatures?
You played World of Warcraft?
Well, not that I'm plugging it, but yes, I played it for quite a while. Everybody in the whole wide world has.
I have not.
Well, that's okay.
But anyway,
Pen and paper, bro. D&D old school.
He believed that the Wendigos that he was killing were sent by enemy shamans in the area.
Now, he was 87 when he killed his last one.
Yep.
I think now the logistics. How does an 87-year-old man do anything? My gosh, he could barely run. He could barely walk.
What was the date?
1907.
1907. Okay, so he wasn't eating McDonald's.
Well, right.
He wasn't eating ho-hos.
But life expectancy in 1907 was probably what, like
right? He had to work. He was working hard out there,
50, 60
on
years,
the plains or wherever. He wasn't sitting on the couch playing World of Warcraft.
Well,
he probably that dude at 80 probably stronger than you.
Yeah, he might be. He might be.
But I guess Jack Fiddler, he was usually asked by family members to kill a very sick loved one before they turned into a Wendigo. So he felt like he was doing the right thing. But he was arrested. And on September 30th, 1907, he escaped captivity.
Mm-hmm. What month?
September.
Okay.
He then hung himself like a day later.
He got out and said, "That's it, I'm done."
Yeah, he hung himself, and
Red was here, and
his brother, unfortunately, did not escape. Well, not unfortunately, but you know what I mean. He ended up going to trial. He was convicted. He was sentenced to death. He tried to appeal the sentence, and it actually came back 3 days after he died. So it didn't work.
Yeah, red tape and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, see, the thing that I read about the Wendigo, though, one peculiar trait is whenever the Wendigo feeds, the Wendigo then grows by the same amount of mass that it has eaten.
Right. Mm-hmm. The more it eats,
the more it grows.
The bigger it becomes.
So if it ate like a 150-pound guy or a girl or whoever, that it grew by that much.
By 150 pounds.
By 150 pounds. So it wasn't like...
Minus the weight of the bones. Things like that.
No.
Right.
They said it was a true, like, 150 pounds, 150 pounds.
Who's they?
They. The true blue internet. That's always right. I'm just wondering, but then he had to have been a perfect hunter, because if there was this is going to get sideways.
That apparently with the legend, it is the perfect hunter.
Yeah.
Number one, though it is starving, it can continue to be
It can just
wicked
continue.
fast, wicked strong. It is supernatural. It doesn't need to eat to be all these things, but all it wants to do is eat.
Right. And there was
So it's got your number.
and if it grew by the same amount of mass that it devoured every time, there's one thing that didn't happen that would have led people to it to catch it. Mm-hmm. Do y'all know what that is? Anyone? Bueller?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Just waiting to see what you say.
It didn't poo.
Oh, jeez.
If you're supernatural, do you need to poop?
No, that's just it. You don't need to. And if it grew by 150 pounds, all of the mass of the person that it consumed went to its size. So it never left anything behind. So it was nearly impossible to track and capture and hunt down because you couldn't, other than footprints, if it left any footprints. It had to have if it was human that grew to 14 some odd feet tall. And it was, if you think of some of the pictures that I saw online were pretty amazing pictures. Some of it had like the Slender Man almost kind of thing where it had the really long bony arms.
Right.
But some of them I came across that were like, dude, this dude was swole. Some of them were like almost looked like Swamp Thing with antlers and horns, and it would just eat whatever. And it was like ginormous sized. So I was thinking, well, if it's a nearly perfect hunter and it's every time it eats somebody, it absorbs their mass. That means if it's 14 feet tall, that sucker could be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds.
Yikes.
I mean, look at me. I'm only 110 pounds. But look at you, Mark. I mean, in your weight, between the two of us, what kind of a creature leaves a 300-400 pound footprint? So it could
Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the frozen ice and the frozen tundra, which is where it would normally, it would stay in its caves and whatnot, and it would go out and hunt, there's always snow. So I'm just wondering, I like the idea of the spirit of the Wendigo, but when it manifested in man and then grew into this giant monster, that was kind of hard because I'm thinking of the logistics of the whole thing. There'd be footprints everywhere, and they'd be massive.
Yeah.
Who wears a size 87 shoe?
Supernatural.
Right.
Supposedly they can move at wicked high speeds.
Okay.
So maybe they can just dance on the snow like fluffy little kittens, and they leave no mark.
Okay. I'll go with the fluffy kittens theory. That's what I'm going to call that theory, the fluffy kittens theory.
Maybe they can.
Maybe they can.
Yeah.
Who knows? Now, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I have this little tidbit here.
Do it.
Coming from legend lore about the first Wendigo. Now, again, research, don't know if this is how accurate, but the first Wendigo was said to have been a warrior who made a deal with the devil in exchange for the fearsome skills and stature to outfight his enemy and therefore save his tribe. The warrior gave up his soul. When the battle was over, the successful warrior, now a full-time Wendigo, was banished from his tribe and forced to live as an outcast.
Aww.
To add insult to injury, he was cursed with cannibalistic desires.
Well, that's sad.
So in this case, getting superpowers
Yeah.
Right.
didn't work out.
Didn't work out so well for him. Now, see, did you all come across the Fort Kent incident?
I did
But
not.
go ahead.
Please tell me.
Please.
Okay. Okay.
Do it.
This was in 1920, so just a little bit later. A young doctor and his wife had moved to Fort Kent during the war from England. He started up an in-home medical practice to help people from Fort Kent, since the Cold Lake Air Force and weapons base was only 20 minutes away. His practice was successful until a swarm of rats came into the town carrying the plague of smallpox and infected half of the town, and they were going to die. The doctor's wife happened to get the plague as well. That sucks.
Yeah.
And when she died, he locked himself in his house, not accepting any patients, and he built a shrine with his wife's lifeless body.
Yikes.
As you do.
Right.
I'm just saying, who doesn't do that, really? I mean, it's normal.
Yeah.
Purely normal. As it says Indians of the area. Now, I didn't know if Fort Kent was in, I'm guessing that was in England, maybe in America. I'm not 100% where Fort Kent was.
Well,
I'm guessing America.
Yeah, I would say like
I don't
probably
know.
in the north.
Yeah, who knows?
don't
Anyway,
know.
they use the phrase Indians, but I don't know if that was American Indians, if that was Native Americans, if that was what they meant by that, or folks from India. I wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
As the Indians of the area had warned people in the town about the spirit of the Wendigo, which preys on weak souls, possessing them, and when such things possess you, you tend to crave and eat the flesh of your own beings. That means humans. The doctor slowly invited one person after another into his home, killed them, and ate them. Num, num, num. Once the town people started to notice more and more people were going missing, they were a bit suspicious. So the doctor went on a rampage on the town of Fort Kent. He killed and ate all but 11 people in 1921.
Yep.
He ate their flesh and left a pile of bones. In 1921, it was recorded that Fort Kent had about 150 people that lived there, and no one had seen the doctor. It's told that he ran off into the woods, leaving everything in his home behind, and that he was possessed by the Wendigo. The townsfolk of Fort Kent say that you can hear him screeching with laughter at night in the woods.
I can't believe that. He killed almost 140 people and ate them before people were like, hey, what's going on?
But as things go, that was the perfect, not disguise, but the perfect lure, I guess. Was that the sound of a ham's cracking?
It was.
And very nice. Because people would come to you at a slow drip, one after one after one.
Oof.
And you wouldn't have a lot of suspicion.
Yeah.
So I guess,
Yeah.
wow, that's a lot of
That is a
people.
lot of people. He obviously, I mean, he went crazy once his wife died, and in this story was able to be possessed by the Wendigo because he was in such a low place in his life.
I wonder if his so in his madness, my thought was, did he eat his wife's body, and that is what really locked the Wendigo into him?
Maybe. Although it said, I think in your story, it was like that he made a shrine.
He made a
of her.
shrine of her lifeless body.
Right.
Now that could be kind of stinky.
Yeah.
And
just a
messy?
skosh, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't really have like saran wrap
Didn't
back in the
Jason
day?
in Friday the 13th make a little shrine out of his mom's head?
I don't know.
I think so.
Maybe. I'm just thinking that
Sorry.
he was possessed. Was it the grief that brought the spirit of the Wendigo? Or was he so grief stricken and gone bonkers, and on top of that, maybe had a little barbecue with his wife? He ate her, not with her, and
That's awful.
or maybe and that's what contributed to him just like, okay, let's do this. But then, did he grow?
Right.
Did he grow like the Wendigo?
See, I don't think he actually became the monster, like the monster that is like this physical being. I think he was possessed by the spirit of the Wendigo.
I thought when you
So
were
he's a monster, but physical appearance, he was not growing to
right.
15 feet tall.
Right.
But he was a monster.
Right. He was a monster, but
Since it was a possession versus the actually embodiment of the creature,
yes.
nobody could tell
that's
that he was truly.
So, like, he didn't start out by just starting to eat people.
Yeah.
He started out. He was super sad when his wife died,
well, sure.
and the spirit actually then.
That's when it
possessed
That was
possessed
his
him.
opening.
Yes, that was the opening. Now, because they talk about that. Yeah, you can either become a Wendigo
Right.
by eating people or by being possessed by a Wendigo spirit.
Yeah, so that's where kind of my confusion was, is that when you're possessed by the spirit of the Wendigo, do you then become a physical Wendigo? Because if it's no, then if you found the Wendigo,
Right.
because there would be only one then, the main one, then it's kind of like the Lost Boys. When you kill the main vampire, the other vampires go away. You take care of that one, then all the spirits of the Wendigos would just stop. But if for the legend to keep happening, you would need to be possessed, then actually physically turn into the Wendigo
Right.
for it to continue on through the ages.
Yeah, but you could be possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
Maybe has some outward appearances that
Right.
are disturbing, but some people might just still see you.
Yeah.
But internally, you are being controlled
Right.
by this monster.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. That's where my confusion was. Is that
Right,
your
right.
soul would go to the Wendigo's heart, but your physical body would then turn into a Wendigo.
No, I feel like there's two different versions.
Yeah.
But there's because of the Wendigo psychosis,
Yeah.
which we talked about
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
That I feel is like the possession part. So they could,
Right.
because they don't know how else to explain why these people are doing this. So,
Right.
But if it was a possession by this creature,
Then the psychosis is there, and you don't
Right.
change.
yeah, you don't change. It's just, hey, I'm just talking like the demon here. Hey, I'm just going to take over the body. Nobody
Right.
knows I'm here until they capture this dude. And if they kill him, then I'm just going to go on to the next. So you might never know with any type of demon that person was possessed. Yeah, if you watch some movies, there's
Right.
tons of signs like, your head spinning backwards and spitting pea soup. Like,
Right.
I think Megan is possessed. But you know what I mean? But she didn't change her physical appearance to be this crazy
No.
monster.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So the Wendigo psychosis or just being possessed, you might never know. You know what I mean?
yeah.
There's a lot of Jeffrey Dahmer was eating people.
Right.
Did he have Wendigo psychosis? Was he possessed?
Yeah.
I've done no research on Jeffrey Dahmer, so
None whatsoever.
Nope.
so yeah, don't yell at me if I whatever. I'm just saying, like, hey,
Right.
I don't know. We don't know. Like, what? God, I was going to say, what possesses people to do things?
Right.
Maybe it is because
They're possessed. Right. Huh.
not the first person to ever say that. That just happened to come out as we were talking.
So if the Wendigo spirit were to ever have a conversation with somebody, would there be a way for us to know what that sounded like? I mean, that.
Oh, you no, I can't do them.
What?
Nash just loves for me to play with
I
it.
love it. I can't get enough of it. Hold on here. This is going to be good stuff right here.
I don't know what the Wendigo would sound like, Nash. Wendigo. Kind of sounds like the chupacabra.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wendigo. Wendigo. I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody who's listening. We'll turn that right back off.
Oh boy.
Hey, we have a mixing board that has that little function. Nash wants me to use it all the time. I don't know if that's. See, the thing with the kind of transition back to normal.
Back to where it is.
The with the Wendigo, you had mentioned earlier that it can mimic
Mimic voices.
voices.
That
There's
is
this
straight up
story
creepy.
of this Native American. Just this young girl was out in the forest. I think she was picking up sticks or whatever, getting firewood, and she heard what she thought it was her mother's voice, like calling to her, like, "Hey, come here." But it was off.
Yeah,
you
it was
know,
a
if
little
I'd be
off.
like, "Hey, Lish, come here," but if I was the Wendigo, I'd be like, "Hey, Lish, come here." She'd be like, "Sounds like Mark," but it sounds like Mark if he's possessed.
Right.
So she heard this, and she went closer. Checking it out, and she caught a glimpse of this thing in the trees.
Yeah.
Dropped the firewood, freaked out, ran back to her people, to her family, and they were like, "Holy crap! I'm pretty sure you just avoided getting eaten by a Wendigo."
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But because of the mimicking, but there's that one where she's like, "That's just not right."
Right.
Like, it's just a bit off. That's not how my mom talks.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how it lures people.
Yeah.
When I read that, I'm thinking to myself, where have I heard that before? I'm thinking, was that the inspiration for the Predator?
What? Oh, no, the Predator had technology.
Right.
You know what I found doing this research? Because I never read the book. Stephen King's Pet Cemetery
Yeah.
was about a Wendigo.
What?
Yeah.
The
pets came back from the dead.
the Cursed Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
That had something to do with the Wendigo, or right beyond that. Remember that, like, I feel like there was part of like they didn't go beyond. There was something beyond. I didn't read the book.
Yes, they didn't go beyond like the
I feel like I need to read the book because in the movie it was a cursed land. They talked about certain things, but I don't remember in the movie they ever mentioned Wendigo.
Yeah.
But apparently in the book, Stephen King does use the Wendigo as part of what this curse is.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Very, very.
Stephen King does a lot of research to write cool stuff.
Right.
Okay. Now I don't know about you all, but I also came across. Now this was odd how it was kind of interjected in the story, and this kind of struck home with me. But it had to do with the Anasazi Indians.
Okay.
Did you read this at all?
No, did you say that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally did.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about that because the Anasazis all migrated to southwestern part of the country.
Okay.
Which is Arizona, and we have a lot of Anasazi around.
All right.
So, yes. So,
good job.
You actually got it right.
Yeah, so people out there from Phoenix,
Sounded so negative the way you did your
got you, sucker. It was weird because it talked about there's a large question as to the disappearance of the Anasazi in history. So the Anasazi was this large community of people, of tribes that were all living together. And where they're talking about, this happened in like 10,000 years ago.
Oh,
where the Anasazi weren't native to the Southwest. Mm-hmm. They came from somewhere else. And I found it very odd how they interjected this little bit of history into the story, because I don't know if they were trying to say that the Wendigo was responsible for the disappearance of the Anasazi or for the migration of.
That's where I thought you were going.
Yeah, that they were responsible. So the Anasazi did not originate in the Southwest. They migrated to the Southwest.
Okay.
And they were there for quite a while. But originally they were from north of that. And I'm wondering if they tried to imply that the Anasazi were from Canada originally, or they had a different name.
That's right. They got the heck out of
they left
cold territory.
Yeah, they were just like, you know what, we're out. Yeah,
and they're like, oh great, a Momo.
Yeah. So they had this giant massive civilization with roads, aqueducts, this whole 9 yards. They were very advanced, but then something happened and they migrated to mountainsides and in caves. Something happened to their giant civilization where they had to leave that quickly, get into these caves, create these cities, these mountainside homes. Then that was pre-migration. Then something again followed them to the mountains where they were trapped.
Okay.
And once again, I don't know how it worked, but then they disappeared from there and reappeared in the Southwest. So I think they were trying to link the migration of the Anasazi to the Southwest from the North, possibly due to the Wendigo.
Okay.
You're giving that's a whole nother mystery to.
That's a whole thing. That's what I mean. Is I don't know, and I read it, and I said,
that's a whole nother topic. That's so interesting what you were just saying.
Yeah, and this was
if they migrated from the North because they're like, we got to get.
Yeah, this
we
is out of control.
Yeah,
this creature's crazy, only to run into something else.
Yeah, and
in Arizona.
No. Before they came to Arizona.
To Arizona.
Yeah, so the Anasazi originally, they were. Oh, where is it? It's in here somewhere. Where they were in this place called Angel Canyon, 10,000 years ago. Okay, 10,000 years ago, they were in this Angel Canyon. I don't know where that is. But then 650 years ago, they left Angel Canyon and migrated to the Southwest. All of them.
So you don't know where Angel Canyon is?
I don't know where Angel Canyon is. I've never heard of Angel Canyon. But the Anasazi...
We got to look that up.
I know.
Yeah. Anybody out there? Yeah,
you talking to me?
Yeah.
And they say about 800 years ago, so 150 years before they were like, GTFO, I'm out, they had a complete economic collapse. The land had become overworked, and the leaders became tyrannical. The Anasazi said, I am out, moved into cliff homes, and then something shortly thereafter made them leave their cliff homes and move 100% everybody
Wow.
to like the Southwest.
Goodness.
Now, in these cliff homes, there was still like, it was like, oh, it's Tuesday, let's leave,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. The homes were built, they were in, they never like deconstructed anything. All their stuff was still there.
Wow.
They just up and left. So I don't know if they were being chased out or they felt that the spirit of the Wendigo was there. And they were still nibbling up on the people, you know? I mean, they probably had some decent food and some masa. They were putting tamales, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But they were trying to link it, and I thought, I wasn't quite ready to dive down this rabbit hole of the Anasazi.
Right.
But I kind of thought, wow, I had no idea that this place, the Anasazi tribe, they were in this one specific area in Angel Canyon for, what is that, 9,350 years of a society.
Wow.
That's a pretty decent stretch.
Yeah.
And then to up and leave all of a sudden.
I know.
So I think they were trying to imply that it was the Wendigo.
Okay.
Maybe there was a Wendigo psychosis where people were going bonkers and eating everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's, I don't know. That it kind of drove me like, I need to look at this a little bit more. That's crazy. I grew up driving by this place that was Anasazi something around. It was like Anasazi Villas or something like that.
Wow.
So they were always there. Yeah.
I can't find anything on Angel Canyon. I found a pet refuge,
Okay. Well,
but I don't think it has anything to do with any mysteries.
yeah, and I don't know if it's in Canada, if it's in Minnesota. I don't know anything. I need to look a little bit deeper because to move an entire society and attribute it to the Wendigo, that's kind of wild.
You're right. So why don't we contemplate that while we take a break? And we'll be right back. Nash, you know, what is like the one thing that could go wrong on a paranormal investigation?
Why, Mark? That's the lack of food.
You know, people are putting in their backpack a EMF detector, a flashlight, a digital recorder, but if you forget that snack, your whole evening could be ruined.
That's exactly right.
So, if you head over to mfjerky.com, you can order some delicious beef jerky, and if you use our code SpookyJerky15, you can save 15% on your order, and it's a big savings. That way, when you're out doing an investigation, you're not going to worry about hunger pains. Your stomach's not going to growl and mess up a possible EVP.
Right.
And like we like to say here, Moses Family Jerky, the best thing to pack on your paranormal or normal adventure.
Oh my God. Honey, look. It's Bigfoot.
No way. Let's go say hi. Hey, Mr. Bigfoot. What you reading?
You can call me Frank, and I'm reading the Paranormal Punchers comic book.
Paranormal Punchers?
Yeah, it's about a group of podcasters that get themselves in all kinds of paranormal trouble. It's like Scooby-Doo meets the X-Files, and it's hilarious.
Sounds great. Where can we get a copy?
Just head over to ParanormalPunchers.com where you can find a comic book and all kinds of merchandise.
Thanks, Mr. Bigfoot. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too. Oh, and look out for that bear.
We're back. All right. I did not know we were running for like an hour.
Oh, my gosh.
No, that was a long time.
That was, yeah. I looked down at the little recorder. I was like, I need to take a break. But yeah, I'm glad we were into that. I think what you were talking about really got up into my head.
Yeah.
About that. Those people, the tribe coming down. And because I'm like, were they really fleeing?
Yeah, they
something
were fleeing.
like this.
Just like when
only to be met by something else.
Right. Just like the people from Asgard as they were fleeing the Hela. You know, the whole people were fleeing with the guy
and then they
with the
ran
crazy
into
eyes.
Thanos.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, it didn't work out well in the end. But
Yeah,
that's
that-
true. The
yeah.
Anasazi, too. It happened down there.
Yeah, what a great transition.
Yeah. Right.
I have a story here, Native American story that I'd like to read. I mean, it's not going to shed any light onto the subject. I just thought it was an interesting story that was told. Okay. So let me find my place in my notes. Okay. The villagers realized a Wendigo was coming when they saw a kettle swinging back and forth over the fire. No one was brave enough or strong enough to challenge the ice creature. After they had sent for a wise old grandmother who lived at the edge of the village, the little grandchild, hearing the old woman say she was without power to do anything, asked what was wrong. While the people moaned that they would all die, the little girl asked for 2 sticks of peeled sumac as long as her arms. She took these home with her while the frightened villagers huddled together. That night, it turned bitterly cold. The child told her grandmother to melt a kettle of tallow over the fire. As people watched, trees began to crack open and the river froze solid. All this was caused by the Wendigo, as tall as a white pine tree coming over the hill. With a sumac stick gripped in each hand, the little girl ran out to meet him. She had 2 dogs, which ran ahead of her and killed the Wendigo's dogs. But still, the Wendigo came on. The little girl got bigger and bigger until, when they met, she was as big as the Wendigo himself. With one sumac stick, she knocked him down, and with the other, she crushed his skull. And the sticks had turned to copper. After she killed the Wendigo, the little girl swallowed the hot tallow and gradually grew smaller until she was herself again. Everyone rushed over to the Wendigo and began to chop at him.
Oh.
He was made of ice. But in the center, they found the body of a man with his skull crushed. The people were thankful and gave the little girl everything she wanted.
Huh.
It's not the first story I came across where when somebody did manage to kill Wendigo, he was ice when they chopped him apart.
Yeah.
Inside was the human.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Dead.
That's what I'm saying about the person becoming the Wendigo. I wonder what that, or how long maybe that transformation happens. Maybe it's not an immediate thing.
Yeah.
You take on the Wendigo and then...
As time goes by.
Yeah, you start to, because you're used to because the Wendigo likes the winter.
Right.
Make a hell of a Disney movie, right?
Oof. I don't know if Disney would do that one.
That's a great idea, Mark. Oh, my God. So the Wendigo has dogs?
In this story, yeah. But when if the Wendigo can possess a human, like in this case, it sounded like possession, it wrapped itself around the human being and made it this monstrous thing. It would stand to reason that he can, I need a pet. So he just takes a dog, curses the dog is now, a Wendigo beast.
Like a Hulk dog almost, like in the Bad Hulk movie.
No, that's Bad Hulk movie.
But they had Hulk dogs.
There was Hulk dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Well, and I'm thinking to myself...
But in this story, the little girl also had dogs, loyal dogs.
Yeah.
Right? I'm petting my dog as I talk about loyal dogs.
So was she maybe possessed by the flip side of the Wendigo? Maybe something on the good side of something equal that would make her grow?
Well, again, you would always hope if there is evil, there's something that can counter.
Right.
And in this case, maybe in that time, in this story, whatever... really happened that something gave her the ability to go up there with 2 sumac sticks and smack the crap out of them.
I'm just thinking that, there's a.
And that's when I was growing up, I remember getting beat with a switch. Did you guys ever remember that?
I did.
I didn't grow up in 1905, so I'm going to say no.
I did not grow up in 1905 either, but I remember
my parents used a wooden spoon, not so much a switch.
Same thing as a stick.
I had a wooden spoon.
Wooden spoon or a paddle.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing as a stick.
Yeah.
So what was the question that I have during the whole story was the Wendigo spirit, the Wendigo psychosis. Mm-hmm. So who was that fool who was turning people into sausage?
What?
One of our episodes we did in the past where he was in his hotel.
Matthias Schaumbach.
Yes.
Up on Hawk Mountain.
Up on Hawk Mountain, not Hulk Mountain, but Hawk Mountain. Hawk. He was turning people into sausage. What if the Wendigo
Daddy,
spirit?
would you like some sausage?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie with? It's a terrible movie.
Yeah. What if he was also possessed because he was grief stricken? Wasn't he grief stricken from a loss? So what if he was possessed?
Had Wendigo psychosis, Wendigo fever.
That's right. Maybe he was a more modern day Wendigo that had just happened and he was starting his process.
But was he eating the sausage? He was killing people and just making money.
No, he was selling their stuff, but he was still making the sausage. He was still eating the sausage.
What was he eating the sausage?
Well, who doesn't eat sausage? I mean, come on, it's yummy.
Would you eat Wendigo sausage?
No, not Wendigo. Nobody would eat Wendigo sausage. That's got to taste terrible.
Oh,
but the spirit possessed him to do these things to make the sausage. I don't know. That was the first thing.
And then feed it to weary travelers.
Yeah,
making more Wendigos.
Yes, exactly.
Till Legion.
Yes. See, now you're following me here.
All right. We'd have to look up how many other actions of cannibalism was in that area.
Right.
If the Wendigo fever passed to other people.
Right. And if wasn't he like the last stop before the mountains? And weren't they like the cold mountain pass or the winter mountain pass? He was the last stop.
Which I don't know. But now you had me thinking about the Donner Pass.
Yeah, exactly. See, these people are eating other people. But a lot of times it's in cold weather where you've got to
when they're hungry.
Yeah, where they're super hungry and there's no food around. And it's Wendigo time. Let's get out our forks and knives.
Oh God!
If we were trapped in the icy tundras of Manitoba, and it looked like there was no signs of getting out,
who would be the first to go?
No, would you eat one of us?
Oh,
I would be the only one left if
what
nobody.
A question.
What I would say is if nobody ate anybody, I would be the last one left alive.
All right, so if Lish and I went, if we died of, what do you call that, heat or cold?
Yeah, you froze.
If we froze to death. Oh, I couldn't get that one.
Yeah, wow.
What is that answer? Oh, froze to death. And then now you have no witnesses. You're starving. Would you eat one of us?
I would say I would be the last one alive without eating anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
I would have the highest chance of survival.
I for one would not, because I don't want to be a Wendigo.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying that I would, but what I would say is I would have the highest chance because I'm a little on the portly side.
So you think, okay, that would carry your starvation longer.
A little bit longer, yeah. I wouldn't necessarily eat anybody unless, but...
Well, this podcast turned weird.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know if I would eat anybody.
Oh,
but
wait, it always...
How is it
gets
always turned to food with you?
I said I wouldn't eat anybody. Mark took me there.
I was just curious. I'm just making sure he doesn't have Wendigo fever.
No.
No, I don't know. It's easy to theorize and talk about like that, but I would never in a million years want to be in a position where I was in the frozen tundra starving and didn't know what to do. Or like those dudes, the soccer team, that their plane crashed.
Alive?
Alive.
Wasn't it called Alive? Yeah.
So I guess you have no idea what you would do to survive.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you would do in that situation.
No.
So I'm going to take this podcast back to the supernatural and not survival.
Oh boy!
Sorry about that, everybody.
But is that the fulcrum when you come across Wendigo psychosis?
I just assume if we crashed our plane in the frozen tundra, you'd be like,
"Sorry, I know."
You'd be like, "I got beers and I got Cheetos."
That's right. We've been here an hour, but sorry, Lish, it's time to go.
Yeah. Why am I the first one?
Because you're not as hairy.
Oh.
I'm not that
right.
Well, I'm just saying. Just saying, you're gristly.
No, we just lost listeners.
Yeah, that's
today.
right.
I
That's
know.
right.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Come back.
I have a story. I'm not sure when the date is, but I would say in the last 10 to 20 years, maybe.
Super recent.
Yeah. So on the recent side, yeah. So there was a guy who was driving in southern Manitoba. and he saw what he thought was a man bent over in like the ditch or whatever. So he started slowing down. He put his high beams on, rolled the window down, and then kind of came to a stop next to it. He was about to call out to the stranger on the side of the road, and it turned around and looked at the truck. The driver, in shock, looked into the creature's eyes. It had empty sockets full of darkness.
Ugh.
Yep, the face was inhuman, dead. It rose to 7 or 8 feet in height. It had thin, long limbs, gangly and dark. It turned towards the truck and started moving towards it. But at that point, the driver was like, oh, heck no. So he slammed the gas and drove off. When he looked in the rearview mirror, he didn't see anything. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So that was like an adolescent Wendigo, kind of
maybe
in the growth cycle to 14, 15 feet tall. It was only kind of really tall and not like super duper duper tall.
Right. Yeah, it was just sort of tall.
Sort of gigantically scary tall. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did it say that the Wendigo had super strength also?
You know what?
I don't.
Yes, I've definitely found that it has super strength.
Even though it's so skeletal. Yeah.
Yeah, it has like old man strength.
Right.
Huh. I'm just wondering if it would have caught the truck, could it have stopped the truck?
I don't know.
That would have been freaky.
Because the way that the story ended was like he thought he got away. Or did he? Or something like that. But you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You know how those stories are.
Now, just jumping in here because I said the word supernatural, but one thing I didn't touch on is one of the stories goes that it actually has the ability to bring harsh conditions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it can bring in, you know what? I see Nash over here enjoying a good time with his camper, having hot dogs. All of a sudden, bring in cold, make it frosty, make it my ideal condition to go and Wendigo you.
Wendigo.
That would really suck. Kind of like Storm.
Yeah, but in this case, he's just making it his perfect hunting ground.
Right.
So now I can maybe chase you down a little bit, but everything's nice and frosty.
So kind of the ability, the natural ability. So I still go back and forth between the spirit form of the Wendigo and the physical side of the pet Wendigo. So I'm wondering if like the dude in the truck saw a spirit form. Because...
No, he saw a creature, though. So it wasn't the spirit, it was the actual creature.
But you can sometimes see the spirits can manifest, so you would be able to see that. Or that's what I mean.
I don't think it's that way.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so confused. All I know is of all the subjects that we've done throughout so far, this was the one that it was like, you know what? Screw that. I'm not going in there. If it gets cold in the woods, no. I'm driving down south. No.
Right.
No thanks.
Go down with the skunk ape.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll hang out. I'll deal with Bigfoot and the skunk ape and the Momo and all of those. I don't care. I'm not dealing with this creature.
Well, they were talking about the Wendigo possibly being a relative of Bigfoot or a werewolf because it kind of looks like both. But
and they said that silver can kill it.
Yes.
And I kind of took that as
steel
like
and silver.
Yeah, and they were kind of saying it looks kind of vampire, kind of werewolf.
Yeah.
And I think they were just throwing a lot of stuff in there.
I think so too.
But man, just to see an actual Wendigo, I think all kinds of like not happy thoughts about what it looks like and teeth clacking, ready to eat you.
Oh God.
Right, and with the Native American legend lore. With the telling of the story, it's not just about cannibalism. It's also about greed. It's also about, hey, if you do bad things, this could happen to you.
Right.
So it's almost a way to, try to also tell people,
be good.
Be good.
Yeah.
Because the Wendigo will get you.
Right.
Or you'll turn into a Wendigo. So whatever way you want to go on this story, what you want to believe, the Wendigo is bad.
Bad news.
Really bad.
Yeah, seriously bad.
So you never want to be the Wendigo. So don't do bad stuff. But
Don't eat people either.
well, no, definitely don't eat people.
That too.
Right.
That's up front right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
number
we
one.
didn't have to tell anybody that, right? Wow.
Does kind of remind me of Krampus also. Just a little bit.
Yeah, but Krampus didn't eat people.
No, but the story of like,
He'd put you in a sack. And
don't be
crap
bad or Krampus will get you.
Right.
Kind of the same thing of be good
Yeah.
or you will turn into a Wendigo and start eating your neighbors.
Yeah, don't be bad. Don't be greedy. Don't
Yeah.
mess over your fellow people. Yeah,
Right.
like all the things that. Yeah, no,
Right.
don't do that.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. There's no need for it. Yeah,
As we always say here, like be kind.
that's right.
Love each other.
That's right.
I mean, within reason. But
Unless you're into that.
so that is what we got from the Wendigo. I'm sure the stories go much deeper. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's more intense. I'm
yeah.
sure that there are stories we didn't find. But that was a fun topic. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Lucian Nash, for such a fun evening of weirdness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talking about
appreciated
people
that a
eating
lot.
other people.
Dave, I wish you were here.
Yeah, we miss you.
Gosh, knows what you would have said.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Now, again, we're working on some fun stuff. The Paranormal Punchers Watch a Movie bonus episodes.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the title, but at this point, that's probably the title.
Right.
Our D&D thing. We are working on a board game.
Yes,
a lot
we
of exciting
are.
things. But hey, what's always exciting is hearing from everybody out there. So, paranormalpunchers.com, hit us up. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're up to. Let us know if you like the show. I was going to say hate the show. Don't let us know that. No.
Yeah.
No, please don't.
Of course, topic ideas, just whatever. We love to
Yeah.
hear from you. Hopefully someday we get to have like a cool meetup where we get to hang out and have a beer with everybody, or a Diet Coke, or whatever you're going to do.
Right.
Lish, anything to leave all these awesome people with?
No, we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We have a Facebook group, so join us there.
Nash.
Don't eat anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't. It's if you're thinking about it, don't stop. But be good to one. What did Bill and Ted say? Be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can say to people, don't eat anybody.
But
And in the words of Bill and Ted, I don't think that goes together.
maybe my timing was a little off.
Yeah.
just be excellent to
go
each
Yeah,
other.
be excellent to each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking about Keanu Reeves and John Wick.
Right.
And definitely don't mess with a man's dog.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Unless they're Wendigo dogs, then they should be killed.
Oh.
Hmm.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. So there is an exclusion in there. There is an asterisk.
Woo!
Okay.
Wow. All right. As we say, always, we love you. Be kind. Check out all the weird out there in the world.
If you find
Well,
something,
that
let us
threw me
know.
off. You just can't do anything with this
Yeah.
guy. Be kind. Be awesome. Be excellent to your fellow man. And Lish, if it's not weird,
It's not worth checking out.